Hey everybody, it's Davron Karimov here with the Big Boss Show, a new show where we come to you with somebody that may not have always been a big boss, but shares his or her story that we can learn from. Today I'm joined by owner and founder Lakinya with I Crave Vending.
Yep.
Welcome to the show.
Hey, Ben.
Yeah,
Thanks for having me.
yeah,
You
no
got it right.
problem. Yeah, I
Yeah.
appreciate you coming on.
No
So tell
problem.
me about this vending machine business. Is it something that's real? Is it a real business?
That's quite funny. So I'll kind of give you a little backstory on kind of where I came from and how I got to the point where I am. So a few years ago, and I'm actually down in Miami, Florida. So a few years ago, I said, you know what, I need to find a side hustle, something productive to do. And I said, something that's realistic, that's not going to break the bank, that's, I can save and get started. So, anyways, I came across the idea of vending, did my research, whatever I found online. And honestly, I just kind of did it, just went at it.
Mhm.
Purchased a few machines. They sat in my garage for a little bit. And honestly, from there, I kind of learned a lot of trial and error. And yes, it is a real business. And actually, um, so what kind of got me to the consulting area now is when people started asking, like, "Hey, how do you get into that?" And so I'm like, you know what? People really want to know. So I was like, you know what? Let me monetize from the knowledge that I've experienced. And I lost a lot of money and made a lot of mistakes. And I think that's anybody with going into any business that you are no mentorship, you're just kind of diving in. And so that's when I started to kind of help others get started, but now it's like to another level. So it's not just basic vending, it's all sorts of things beyond just snacks and drinks. So yeah, it's really a real business. Some people do it, only for a living. Some people do it as a side hustle to generate extra income. And honestly, it's kind of fun. Just think about it, like you're going to your job every day and your job is to check out your vending machines. So
That's awesome. And do you come from a business background?
actually, I came from a teaching background. So yeah, that's why this whole consulting thing kind of tied in, because I actually was a middle school and high school teacher. So it kind of went hand in hand with understanding how people want to learn and so on and so forth. So um, didn't really quite have a business background, and I think that's why as far as the business, I lacked a lot and made a lot of error. And but I learned from that. And so now I'm able to help other people kind of skip over the trial and error and just let me help you get started in the easiest steps possible.
That's awesome. Yeah. So what would you start with a couple machines and now and then you scaled it up?
Yeah, so basically what I did was I went on the marketplace and purchased a few machines. And the hardest part was finding a location. So I had to acquire a location, and a lot of no's. And then I learned a little bit about, okay, how you really get into a location, and kind of went from there. And I purchased a few more machines, and I got up to about like 10 machines. But now I'm switching over to a different sector of the business. So I actually have someone that's just monitoring those for me. And I'm just solely focusing on, the consulting side and helping other people. But from that, I was able to, kind of learn the ins and outs of really how to get started, which route to take, how to scale, the business. And some people that they tell me, like, hey, I want this to be my full time job. I want to eventually scale out of my 9 to 5 and just work for myself. Um, and it's a perfect business model because it's not 100% passive, but it's semi passive. So, once you get your machine and you get it placed at a location, at that point, you're just really maintaining it. And then from there, you can actually acquire more machines and more locations, and then you can set up a route. So even if you want to be hands off, you're like, hey, you know what? I want to build this up and then let someone else kind of run it. And then maybe I dip into some other business ventures or whatever the case may be, enjoy my time. You can actually then maybe hire, someone to kind of monitor the route and kind of create a schedule for them. And you can scale up as far as you want, really, there's people out there with hundreds of machines, and there's like, really big vending machine corporations like Canteen, they're everywhere. And so some people turn it into, it's $1 billion industry. Vending machines are literally everywhere you go. And a lot of times we don't really think about it, but vending machine is just about everywhere you go. And another neat thing that I'm noticing in the last like 2 years or so is specialty vending. So that's another like unique one where, most people are like, hey, listen, I want to make some real money. I don't want to just make, the money from snacks and drinks. I want to provide a higher price product. So what else can I do? And a lot of people that I help are already entrepreneurs. So they already have business savvy, they're already structured with business. They don't need help with that. They just need help with, like, hey, let's shoot some ideas. This is what I do. I want to sell my product in the vending machine and acquire a high traffic location and kind of, make that work for itself and then potentially get other locations. And this is something that a lot of e-commerce businesses are doing, especially, like during the pandemic, like the beauty industry is banging right now. There's the average, price that someone is, the average amount that someone is making from, these beauty machines are like at least $2,000 a month, from one machine. And I mean, you're spending like an hour a week, hour and a half, maybe maintaining it. And that's pretty good. I mean, that's like the machine is there and you're selling all sorts of products, all kind of beauty items. And so that's just one avenue. There's silver, you got beauty, you got CBD, you got, toiletries, you got all kinds of stuff. So yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, I remember speaking to one guy. I think that was his main business, was literally machines, and he was doing like 100K a month. That I literally just remembered him as we were speaking about this.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. He did snacks and drinks, do you know?
I have no idea. I mean, I
Okay.
just
Yeah.
met him briefly, but
Mhm.
I can't believe I just remember this, and I didn't know about it earlier. But that's cool. And so do you have to do you like pay rent to like to a location that you're putting the vending
The
machine at?
machine. So that's a really good question. Like, so let's say you want to acquire a location. It really isn't a rent unless you're going to like a mall. Typically, a mall will charge you rent because they're real estate. So, that's how they make money. By leasing the space. But when you're going into a business where they have other means of business, you're really just kind of convincing them that they need this machine, right? So if you sell it the right way, if you pitch it the right way, you don't really have to even bring up profit sharing. You're like, hey, I'm providing you a free machine for your customers and employees, or employees only, or customers, depending on the type of business, would result in the verbiage that you use. But I'm giving you this free machine. I'm going to put things in there that they like. I'm going to keep it stocked and maintained. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to do anything. That's a benefit for them. And so if you really sell it to them, I mean, they might not ask for a percentage, but some people are kind of getting hip to the business and they're like, okay, cool. Yeah, you can put it in here, but what's in it for me? And then in that case, depending on the business, especially if it's a high foot traffic business, I would say do it and just don't cry about it. Just, kind of incorporate your prices to kind of reflect having to do a profit sharing, just incorporate it in your price. I mean, it's no different than like when you go to the airport. That's why the prices are outrageous, because they're paying a large percentage to the airport. So they charge it to the consumer. They charge it to the customers, to the consumer, and that's how you play that game. So, and of course, depending on where you are, really tailors how much you can charge for a product. But the vending machine is a convenience, and people are going to use it. just because. So, but yeah, so that's how that rent thing goes. A lot of people think that there's just an automatic rent, and it really isn't. You could just do a percentage profit sharing to the business owner if they ask about it. So yeah.
That's awesome. I never knew that thing about airports. Just by the way that you're speaking and explaining all this, I could that the teaching is. I mean, I think teachers make really good consultants also and coaches. Um, where do you see this going? Where do you see yourself in the next few years?
It's so funny you asked that. So now it's amazing. I've been having, and it's just, and I want to take it a step back. So when I started this, vending machine business, my platform was Instagram. So I got on Instagram and, I just started posting content, and that's where people were finding me. And so then I was like, I'll use my teaching experience and create some ebooks and, and do some consultations and just kind of guide people through. That's what I ended up doing. And so now I'm having all sorts of like organizations and businesses reach out to me. Like in November, I'm going to go to, actually it's going to be virtual. A business organization in Fresno, California, asked me to speak at their yearly whatever. They wanted me to present there. I can't remember what it is, but it's a place of like, professionals and business owners, and I guess they like the topic of vending because it's kind of interesting when you really think about it. And so anyways, in the next few years, where I really kind of see myself taking this is possibly starting to engage in speaking events. So like business conferences or people that just want to bring something new to, maybe their organization. They just want to throw out a different topic out there that's just not the norm. Colleges that want to, they may have an entrepreneurship program. They may need some, different business ideas, or, high school students, whatever. So I think speaking in a more public setting than not just a one-on-one, I think that's probably the next level that I'm going to engage in.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll tell you right now, I could use a machine in my office. There's like in my building, there's no machines here. There's just like one ice cream machine, and it's like tucked
Really?
away in like a corner. Like
So
no one can see it.
what type of individuals are there? It's just all like different offices.
So there's a residential and a commercial. There's two sides
Okay.
of it. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So you must be down like in a Brickell area, because that's how that usually is over there.
Yep.
Yeah. My sister-in-law lived out there. It was pretty nice. She lived right on top of American Social. That was fun. We go over there and then let's go downstairs. And so so basically I have an idea for you too. Like we can collaborate on the back end, because there's something else that I just kind of came up with. It's called convenience vending. So basically in the vending machine, you're going to offer things that are a convenience. Like just think about when you go to CVS or Walgreens, you can find anything in there. Snacks, you can find toiletries, you can find whatever, all kind of stuff. Just think about the same thing but in a vending machine. Especially downtown, it's typically like if you need to get something, you're probably going to have to get in a car or walk a block. But what if you had a vending machine in your building that had like necessities? You would likely use it. So that's the next thing that I'm kind of
That's awesome. Yeah, ask anybody here. Like they never see me leave this floor. Like I'm always in the build. Yeah, like I'm during the day. I'm locked in. I'm like 12 hours a day. I'm in here doing all these.
So you normally bring your lunch with you?
Oh no, I order it.
See, and that's cool too. There's nothing wrong with that. But a vending machine. Hey, maybe you wanted to eat a Snickers or something. Just have a bad snack. I mean, we all you just need to get off the computer for a minute, get off the phone for a minute, and decompress, and maybe have some Skittles. Be a kid.
Did you say sneakers? Sneakers, that would be awesome.
Yeah, a Snickers or a bag of Skittles, and just kind of get away and be a kid and eat a snack really quick. Vending machines are awesome. I'm telling you, and they're not going anywhere. They're actually just getting even more sophisticated. It's something that's so cool. I have a client that she purchased her she sells CBD products, and she purchased her machine, and the machine actually has like ID verification. So when you use the machine, to buy the product, it's going to check your ID. So, these machines are super sophisticated, and it's just going to get better and better. So the opportunities are like insane, and people just don't think about it. They're like, oh, it's a vending machine, but yeah, they can be very lucrative. So
And how long have you been in business?
it's actually been, let's see, 2016 to now. But I've been doing the consulting thing for the last 2 years. So I've been doing this for a little while now, actually. I was just looking at the calendar. I was like, oh man, it's been 2 years now since I've been, consulting with people, and yeah, I love it actually. And it's a learning process. Every time I deal with someone new, I learn more, and they come to me with their ideas. And yeah, I've been kind of doing this for a little while now, and I definitely enjoy it. And it's one that's become a little bit more popular. A lot of people are getting into the vending machine business nowadays, and yeah, it's pretty exciting. So we can get you a machine over there in your building.
That's really cool. Yeah, we could use it. Could use that machine.
I'm sure, man.
So how can people get a hold of you? How can people get in contact with you?
I mean, I am mostly on Instagram and Facebook, and at I Crave Vending, which is IKRAVE, and then Vending. So I really take the time to respond to everybody. So anybody that wants to, reach out, ask any questions, feel free to stop on the page. Just follow me to get some more daily, ideas if they interest you, but not 100% to move forward at the moment, but you're still interested. Just follow me. Um, and yeah, so that's how you can get in touch with me. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really awesome. I mean, I know a lot of people are looking for, ways to generate passive income
Yeah.
or semi-passive income, and not really a lot of risk involved. There's not really a lot of upfront capital or, you know,
Not, it's not like, I mean, honestly, so if someone wanted to get started with the business on a, like, let's say a used machine level, about $2,500, you can get started.
and that'll be
Brand new,
working for you. Yeah.
and it'll be working for you. There's some people that make their money back, man, like in months, and it's a turnkey. Once you put it down, if they drop a vending machine in your building, man, you guys will start using it like today, probably. Oh man, let me go buy a soda. Let me go buy a bottle of water, whatever, energy drink, Monster. I need it today. Um, I mean, it's turnkey. Like, as soon as you put it down, people start using it. So, um, and yeah, and you can control your inventory. Check that out with the credit card reader. I mean, it's and scale it up. So yeah, people are always looking for ways to either bring in extra income or diversify their investments. Not have everything sitting in one pot. And it is a low risk business. And I always tell people, like, if you ever become over the business and you want to exit, it's easy. All you got to do is just sell your business, and someone will buy it right off your hands very quick. Super easy. And so you really could even make even more money off of it. Sell the whole thing, the route with the machine. That's another popular thing within the business, and someone would buy it. Easy. So yeah,
Lakinya, I appreciate it. Thank you so much for coming on
no
and
problem.
sharing your knowledge. I mean, it was very valuable.
No problem, man. It's nice. It was nice joining in, and thanks for having me.